Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iOS today is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
Coming up, Georgia Dow from iMore is here to give her favorite picks. She's got apps, she's got products, plus something to keep the kids busy in the back of your car on your road trip this summer. And we'll answer your questions about a cheap Photoshop clone. All that and more on iOS Today. This episode of iOS Today is brought to you by Harry's. For guys who want a great shave experience for a fraction of what you're paying now, go to harrys.com. Get $5 off your first purchase by entering the code iOS Today when you check out. And by Blue Apron. Blue Apron will send you all of the ingredients to cook fresh, delicious meals with simple step-by-step instructions right to your door. See what's on the menu this week and get your first 2 meals free by going to blueapron.com/twit. That's blueapron.com/twit. Welcome back to iOS Today. Leo Laporte is on vacation, but joining me today is Georgia Dow from iMore. Welcome, Georgia.
Hey, Megan.
It's always fun to have you on a show. I'm very excited. You were on Twit yesterday. How did that go?
I was. It was amazing. Becky was absolutely fabulous. Trying to fill in for Leo must be so difficult. So hats off to her.
And now you get to do it.
I know.
No
I know. I'm feeling the pressure.
Well, for those people out there who don't already know all of your fantastic work on iMore and your other podcasts, tell us a little bit about all the things that you do.
So I review a lot of different products for iMore, and I do the iMore podcast where we go through some fun apps and different things for you to get, tech for your iPad and iPhone and Apple Watch. And then I do a podcast on gaming, and then in the daytime I'm a psychotherapist. So
I just love your perspective. We were talking a little bit about the show about, anxiety and, looking to the future before looking to the past and just being in the present. And having that take in tech is always really interesting to me, because a lot of what we talk about is like, when's the next gadget coming out? And, why did I buy that gadget?
Yeah, exactly. If the gadget does not make your life feel happier, more relaxed, then you should not have it. And technology does interrelate with what we do. It does affect our levels of stress and feeling at peace. And so it's great to be able to use technology to make your life better, not worse.
So which came first, the interest in iOS or your therapy career?
Well, I was actually studying psychology when I started at iMore, because they wanted to have a more diverse view. And so they were wanting to get a woman on the team to review things and take a look at different ways in which I use technology. So before I was a therapist, but while I was in school for psychology, I was working at iMore, writing different reviews and the way that I use my technology. So it was a lot of fun. So now I do a day and night difference in jobs.
So did you know Renee before, or did you just meet him when you started working there?
No, I knew Renee before. We did martial arts together. And so that's how I met Renee, and then he just kind of recruited me in. So I was really lucky.
What kind of martial arts do you do?
Then I did Kempo karate, but now I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and some Muay Thai fighting, which is awesome.
Could you beat up Renee if you needed to?
Could I? I would like to say yes, but we've been training for the same amount of time. And if you've been training for the same amount of time, then body weight, strength, it does actually come into play. If you're more trained than someone else, being smaller is, there's no difference in advantage. But we'll leave that. I'll say yes, just for fun. But.
Well, you're going to, Leo's gone for 3 weeks. You're going to host another one. I think in between he's going to host for Leo. So I will ask him the same question. And
perfect. So we'll battle it out on the show.
Let's get to a few of your picks. You gave me some app picks and some product picks. The first one, let's start with Plane Finder.
Okay, great. So haven't you ever looked into the sky and wanted to know what plane is out there and where is it going? Plane Finder is absolutely amazing because no matter where you are, you can take out your phone and look into the sky, and then you actually have all of the information, the flight number, when is it landing, where is it going to, what airline is this, right on the phone in three-dimensional view, which is so much fun to do. And I think that all of us have looked in the sky and wondered, where are they headed to?
And so this is a app for the iPad or the iPhone. Probably not. It's not one for the watch, is there?
No, I haven't tried it if there was. I don't believe that it is, and I don't think that it would be a great interface if there was. The only down point of the application is that often I do have to recalibrate because it needs to know, where exactly you are pointing your phone, because you can actually point your phone into the sky to be able to take a look of like which plane is in that location, and you see it in like a scoped out view of little dots of different planes that are within range. So the only problem is that you do have to calibrate, and the plane's really close to being outside of your range. You may not catch it in time.
Well, I heard about this app a few weeks ago, and I sat outside for a while waiting, and then I got bored and didn't see a plane. I guess it's good that I don't live near an airport.
Right. I was driving actually to the States, and I see this jet going by really, really quickly. And I'm like, I take out the application and it asks me to calibrate. And I'm like, oh, no. And then it was out of range by the time I calibrated it. But, if you happen to see a plane and someone's like, oh, look, a plane, it's kind of cool to pull out the application and be able to say, oh, this is where it's going. It's going to Hawaii.
And so doesn't Siri do something like that also? Like if you ask, where's this plane going, or what is this plane? Do you know about that?
I don't think that it would know what plane you are pointing to at the moment through Siri.
I'll have to look at that. I thought there was something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that if you give it the like number, if you already know what your flight number is, then that might be a different story. But I don't know if Siri can actually do it from which way your phone is pointed and which of the many planes, because there's lots of planes in the sky at the same time. So this one will give you the 3 planes that are in one direction and show you all of their locations.
Right. It might be that it just could tell you like what kind of plane it was. I'll have to look that up and see what she does. All right. Well, the next one out is an app that I thought was hilarious. The other show I do, i5 for the iPhone, I talked about it. I did a whole roundup of like the Uber for everything. And this app is like the Uber for alarm clocks. It's called Wakie. Why don't you tell us about it?
So it's just if you don't usually get up when your alarm rings on your phone or on your watch, this is the social alarm clock. So what you get to do is you put in the time that you would be like to be woken up, and then an actual person will call you and wake you up. And if you have social anxiety, this is a great application that you can use to actually get over your anxiety of talking to strangers, because you can do this all day and it's all over the world. So you don't know where you're going to be calling, who's going to be answering, or even if they're going to answer. I had a lot of false calls where I went straight to someone's voicemail. And then for some people, they're very, very chatty and you have to hold a conversation with someone, and other people just are all groggy and want to get off of the phone as quickly as possible. But it's a really interesting idea because, and if, by the way, for people that are afraid that what happens if the person does not call, they also have an automated response so that, no matter what, you're not going to miss your appointment.
Good morning. It's your wake-up call.
I tried it and I had a lot of, I think I had some automated calls for the alarms I set, or, I tried to wake up the person and they never answered.
Disappointment. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Or relief, maybe.
Yeah. I think, to me, I don't think a stranger's voice is the first thing I want to hear in the morning. But I get where, if someone has social anxiety and this is a good way to break through or to be even more traumatized, maybe.
It could be. I actually found when it was ringing, and I don't have any social anxiety. I'm probably really a strong extrovert and I should be more toned down. But I did find waiting as the phone was ringing, I was a little bit nervous about I hadn't planned out. What am I actually going to say? And you have to kind of wing it and figure it out on your way to be able to deal with it. And then after, people rate if it was a pleasant call or not. So I guess that's to stop, don't use this application and send harassing phone calls to anyone. They will come and find you. So
did you get rated Were you rated well?
I didn't check. I don't know if I get to see what my rating was. I hope that it was pleasant. That would be horrible for self-esteem, but no, it was an interesting idea. I don't think that, as you, Megan, I don't think that I would love to be, when I'm groggy and woken up, I would probably not like to hear someone else's voice when I'm just awakened. But for other people, especially if, they often will not answer their alarm, maybe this would give them that push.
Right, yeah. So did you have a long conversation when you woke someone up?
I did. There was a guy from, I think that it was Ireland. Anyways, it was a relatively long conversation of like what they're going to be doing and how they're doing at their work today and where they're going to that. And then I let him get on his way and be able to deal with whatever he had to. But it was kind of neat to hear people that are from like different parts of the world. So.
So, if he kept talking, you could eventually say, like, I get paid $120 an hour for this, so.
Right. Exactly.
My producer just told me that what Siri can do is, what kind of plane is this? If you point your phone at a plane and ask her or him or it, do you prefer, how do you refer to Siri?
I say her.
Her.
Yes, it's a female voice. It would be strange to call it him. Female sounding. And it just seems so depersonalized. My Siri to me is like, my computer, it's my Jarvis.
Right.
So I want to, give her a little bit of respect in that way.
He is also my Jarvis, which is why I changed her voice to the male voice. So I guess I probably should change.
Now, why did you change?
I don't know. I think I wanted to boss a male voice around, or I wanted to feel like I had a Jarvis, I think.
I get that. Is the male voice, does it have an English accent or anything that's...
No.
Okay.
I'll, let's see.
If it had an English accent, I would switch as well, just because that sounds so cool to me.
We'll see if he'll talk to you. Who is Georgia Dow?
Let me check on that. Okay, I found this on the web. For if we have, he'll talk to you. Who is Georgia Dow?
He got a little bit more.
I was a little worried what they would find on me.
Well, Adele. You are apparently a wonderful, best-selling singer with a beautiful voice. I
was upgraded.
But yes, he caught a little bit before I said, But yeah. So let's see. Your next one is one I had heard of, but I feel like it was just sort of in the back memory, in the back of my brain somewhere. PCalc. Like I thought I'd heard of it about 10 years ago or something. Tell us about PCalc.
Yeah, well, my friend, I met James Thompson, who writes the application at OOL, and he gives some amazing stories of Steve Jobs and working at Apple. And I wanted to have a calculator that's on my watch, because that's one of the things that you need. I used to have those old-time calculator watches that had all of the numbers printed into the watch. It was absolutely huge. And so that's what I really need. I need to have a calculator quick at hand. And so PCalc is really nice in that I love the interface on the watch. It's easy to use, the numbers are big, it's pretty fast, and it works really seamlessly. So PCalc is a great watch app for a calculator. It's also a great calculator that does all kinds of fancy-dancy macro things that I don't know how to do. And my math knowledge is lower than the usability of actually what PCalc has. But on the watch, it has a beautiful interface. And, you can swipe up to make it a glance. So it's quick and easy if you need to make any calculations.
Is this free on the iPhone?
That is a good question. I don't know if it is free. No, it is not free. You have to pay. It's in Canadian. Is it in Canadian that I have here? It's like $10.
We don't know what that is.
$10, $12. So it's not much.
But worth it. Think about how much money you're going to save in time with all your calculations.
That's exactly. All my applications are things that are going to save me time, because time is of the essence. It's the only thing that you can't get back.
That's true. And so the developer's name was Peter Thompson?
James Thompson.
James Thompson. And he's been around in the Mac world for a long time, right? I think that's where I had heard of this. Or he worked on the dock. Didn't he used to work for Apple?
Yes, he did. He has some of the greatest stories. You can take a look at his OOLConf on talk about, working at Apple, and he just does some, I could not do it justice, but he's a really fabulous person as well.
Well, that is a great recommendation. So those are your apps. You're going to have an app cap at the end of the show, too, where we wear funny hats. But you had some products, too, that you wanted to recommend. The first one is Float Your Tablet.
Yes. Okay. So this is probably, they're my favorite stands. I actually have one that is I have the floor model that is for my, for my iPad. And so I also use it to hold my camera. And it's beautiful. I'll show you the one. You probably have them on the website, but I'm going to lift this up because, okay, so here we go. So they also have like little models. They're really heavy, so they stay in place. And what I love is that I can use this because my 6 Plus is so large, I can actually fit my Plus inside of it. But it's great for any tablet. So you can put any of your iPads inside. And because it has a ball joint, it can move around 360 in any way, shape, or size. So when I have my setup to do the podcast, I have one large one that's a floor model, and then I have the desk model as well, and they're beautifully made. Yes, they are a little bit expensive, but really well worth it. There is one caveat, I will say. When putting it together, it comes in pieces, and if I can do it, anyone can do it. But the ball joint is a really heavy, greased magnet. Don't stick your finger in between the magnet when you attach them together.
Good advice.
But it's absolutely fabulous.
Well, I feel like we might have had something like that. Ours now are called the pad grips because they're just on this desk here. But when we had the stands we used to do on the other set, I think we might have used those same ones. They look familiar. They do have the same sort of grip thing, and it is hard. You have to get them right into get your iPad or whatever tablet into there, because sometimes they spin around a little bit. They don't stay straight.
That is true. They do spin around, so you have to twist them into the right direction so that it's fully tightened, and then you're good to go to be able to move it in any single way so that you're using the ball joint and not the little tiny twisted nut joint that they have behind it. So you want to make sure that that's twisted into place well.
So you said it was expensive. Do you know around how much it is?
I believe that they're $200. Should have had that already. But they're like $200 to $500, I believe. Of course, they don't have the price. They're so expensive, they don't have the prices on the website, which is always kind of one of those signs, right?
Yeah. So get your boss to buy you one.
Right, right. But it's also a really fabulous gift.
Yeah, that's true. So here's another recommendation that you have that's perfect for summer: the Overboard waterproof case.
Sorry, they're $300 for the floor model. It's $300 plus shipping, which is not bad.
No. And do they have just the desk model also?
Yes.
Okay, that's probably cheaper.
Yeah. So less than that. Pretty good.
Because I mean, if you weren't, I don't know what the use would be if you weren't doing a podcast for the floor model. I guess.
Well, it's one for your bed, so one goes next to your bed. So if you like to, if you don't have a TV in your room, because the wonderful thing is that they slide away, so you can it just kind of rotates the large model, and then you can just kind of push it away, and so it goes away from necessity. But if you want to use your iPad near your bed and you don't want to have one of those strange, which I have under the ground. 1 second here. Oh.
I like your sound.
Wait. I have tech. All these strange smart bed things that you stick underneath the bed, and then your iPhone or iPad sticks afterwards to it. You don't want something that's hideous in your bedroom.
No.
And you want to use your iPad when you go to sleep, which is not really good for your sleep.
I was going to ask your professional opinion on that. That's what I'd always heard. I like to plug mine in the other room, so I can't hear or think about it in the night.
Which is, you shouldn't. I do. It's the rule that I break all the time.
Well, maybe if you're okay with it. I mean, maybe it depends on the person.
I do everything else okay. So that one I'm like,
And if you're watching something, that's different too.
Yeah, but you should not watch TV 30, 40 minutes before you go to sleep. It's wiring your brain to be more active, whereas you want to be calm and go into your bedtime routine. Plus, the light from a computer is the opposite of the light that, ends up making, your histamine level, your melatonin levels go up, which lets us be sleepy.
Right. So how about after you get woken up by a perfect stranger from Switzerland, then you don't want to get out of bed, you have your coffee, it's Mother's Day, you want to just spend the day on your iPad. This is great for that.
That's exactly it. It's a morning thing.
So another product for summer was the some waterproof case and headphones.
Yes. So there's a whole bunch of waterproof cases, but this is the one that I use, which I love because if I'm going swimming and I want to listen to music, it has the cases and it attaches right to it. So if you're swimming, you can actually use your headphones as you're surfing, surfboarding, you want to answer calls. And
while you're surfing, you answer calls?
Well, if I could surf, then maybe I don't know if I could. I'm not that talented on a surfboard. But you could be boating, whatever, on your yacht.
Right.
Right? Where Leo is now on his yacht.
Yes.
You might want to listen to music.
Right.
Maybe. And so I love them. This one is also padded, so it's also a little bit more protective. And it's just cool to be able to listen to music in water and not have to worry about short-circuiting your ears.
So for swimming, I mean, you could swim with these.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I know a lot of people that use them are, competition swimmers, and while they're training, they want to listen to music at the same time because that helps them, one, keep pace, and two, keep their drive up. And it makes it a little bit less tedious if you're doing a lot of different laps.
Right. Yeah, that was the reason why I could never swim laps, because I just can't be alone when I'm exercising in my own head. I needed podcasts.
Right.
So what do you attach? How do you attach it to yourself?
So it depends on which way that you want. So it has a lanyard. It also comes with you can get the wristband, so you can put it onto your wrist if you want. Some people use a lanyard, and then there's also a connector so that you can wear it around your neck. So you really have all of the different choices in whichever way.
So speaking of waterproofing, I have a totally a related Apple Watch question. Have we discussed showering with the Apple Watch? I discussed this with Christina Warren from Mashable. Do you shower with your Apple Watch?
I don't. I don't know. I don't want to get liquid in between my watch and my wrist. It bothers me a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now I have put my watch underwater just to test if I can, but I'm not that attached to my tech that I have to have it with me even when I shower or bathe. What about, do you?
I do. And that's what, I make up these little 10-sentence reviews for the Apple Watch for random people when they come up to me and, do you like it? I'm sure you get that all the time.
Yes.
It's just not out in the world so much yet.
Right.
And so my one for yesterday is, I don't know, it may be more than 10, not 10 sentences, 10 words. But the best thing about the Apple Watch is that you can respond to texts in the shower. And the worst thing about the Apple Watch is that you can respond to texts in the shower.
That's a perfect review. And very, very true. Very, very true. Yeah. And do you sleep with it? I know some people that do sleep with their watch and then charge it at other periods of time. It would bother me to feel it being tapped on me as I'm...
Well, I don't sleep with it. I have before, but I think I had it turned off, like the no notifications. But normally I charge it, and I use a stand. So that is a good segue to another product that you were recommending, the Apple Watch stand. I use the Spigen, which I've recommended on this show and a couple other shows. It's aluminum, and your watch just sits up there. I think the wood ones are nicer. I kind of regret that I had gotten that one. I got my dad a wood one for Father's Day, but I kind of just went on Amazon. He's watching this, so sorry I didn't spend more time. But I got one that wasn't so great, wasn't as beautiful as it could have been. So do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, sure. This one now, this one's my husband's. So I leave my phone on the table. Go ahead, Megan, you can say it. Like an animal. Yes.
Yes, on the iMore podcast, which is great, and so there's some overlapping reviews from today, but others ones that you and Renee and Serenity had this whole conversation about how you can't just leave your watch on the table like an animal. I was just laughing when I was listening to it, because I assume you mean it just looks like an animal laying there, and not like an animal would leave their Apple Watch laying about.
Yeah, Renee was talking about me because I don't actually use the stand, so it probably fits in my case for both. It just kind of lies on its side and rocks back and forth, and it's good enough for me that way. But this one's my husband's, and it's a smaller version of the stand that Renee showed. And this is the luxury pocket stand, and it's beautiful in that it's really, really small. It's a wooden design. It fits your watch right over the edge here, so it also looks pretty while you're using it, and it also folds up, which is good, and that's why it can just fit in your pocket. It's also easy to interlace, so you don't have to worry about, you know, what am I going to do with it? But it just folds up into nothing afterwards.
Can you fit your watch inside there also or not?
Not when it's folded,
Okay.
but when you unfold it, yes, it actually sits your watch on top of it really, really nicely, and it looks beautiful. And it's just, I just love the fact, one, is that it's wood, so it looks really beautiful. And I'll just take off my watch so I can show it on. But it just has a really nice design. You don't actually have to. There we go.
Oh yeah, that is nice. Now, do you have the big watch? Do you have the?
I don't.
Oh, that's the
I'm
smaller
just
one.
so tiny that the watch looks huge.
It's true, it does.
to me.
Yeah, I like that. I did see some that you could also, they were carrying cases, like travel cases. But I don't know why you would need a travel case, because normally it's on your wrist, unless you had several of them you wanted to.
I don't know. Like I carry around an extra charger in my purse, so maybe it would be just for your charger to not get damaged.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does it carry your watch and your charger?
I am not sure. Now that I think about it, it's like this is my carrier, my wrist. That keeps on carrying my watch around.
Yeah.
But then if you were
daytime,
swimming, but I did, you know, when I went on vacation and I went to the pool, like that was kind of like, well, what do I do with it then? Because I didn't really want to swim in it, but.
No?
Yeah. No, I don't think you're supposed to swim in it. Are you?
I think that I would test it out. I don't know if the chlorine or the salt, depending on what type of a pool that you're in, would be bad for your watch, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know. Miriam Jouar, who's a product reviewer on a couple of our shows, she said that you shouldn't shower with it. It's just, I was like, well, Tim Cook showers with it. But she said that it's going to degrade it over time. And this was a discussion we were having over the Pebble, because I just got a Pebble a few weeks ago, which I ordered before we could order the Apple Watch. It was kind of like I needed something right then. I just got it, and now this isn't my official review, but it does sort of feel like a child's toy compared to the Apple Watch. And I don't know what I could do with it, except for swim in it. It looks better when you're outside. The screen is better. Then, you know, the watch isn't so great if you're spending a lot of time outside. The screen it's not, I mean, it's a little better than an iPhone screen or a laptop screen, but it still is, it's not as easy to see.
It's not as easy to see, that's true. And it's funny that you say that it makes you feel like a child's toy, because my husband and I got our Apple Watches, so we did give our Pebbles to our kids to be able to use, which they love. They absolutely love it. I'm not saying that don't send me angry tweets. I think the Pebble is a fabulous watch. I used it for many, I think it was like a year that I had the Pebble. So since their beta versions, and it's great, but it is a little bit different in its comparison too, so.
Yeah, and what do your kids use it for?
They use it for a watch.
Oh, to tell the time?
They can to tell the time.
That's
yeah.
But does it track their activity or anything like that?
No, I don't let them track their activity. If they're home, they do get their messages that they have, like if someone sends them a message on their little, you know, family messenger application, they can do that. And they love changing the different watch faces, and they can use it for a calculator, though they're not allowed to bring it to school. They're not supposed to bring it to school. One did sneak it into school one day, but it wasn't supposed to.
Was it just because they really wanted to be able to know the time, or it was kind of a like, look at this, everybody?
Well, we weren't going to be using them, and so they wanted to have a watch because they were like, we'll get Apple Watches too, and we're like, you don't understand how expensive this is. You're not getting an Apple Watch. And so they were just sitting around, and we don't know anyone else that does not have an Apple Watch or a Pebble already, because like all my friends are techies. So we were like, okay, you know, my mom's never going to use it, so we'd let the kids have it since we had two. And so the boys got their watches.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is a whole other discussion, but you know, I have two kids too, and it is a challenge because it's like, well, it's cool technology. It's great to use, and you know, we understand the value of it. But then it's like my kids are just like, look at my mom's Apple Watch, and just like, no, it's okay. We don't have to talk about it anymore.
Right.
There, you know, becomes this sort of, I just want it to want it, and you know, I think it's useful, and if you have the money and you're a kid and you have reasons for it, then, you know, I'm not going to judge any other parent who buys their child an Apple Watch, but
yeah, but it's a really like my kids are too young to be able to care for, really even understand the value of that, and it is just because we would not be using it, and there's I don't have to worry about any nefarious applications of social engineering that are going to be through that. I don't think that children should be using until they really understand how they're going to be able to interact with that or deal with someone that may not be appropriate with them.
Right.
But, using it as a watch I thought was just fine.
Yeah, exactly. We have one more product. You have one more product that you recommended, and that is Unguard Me sticky backing.
You Guard Me, yes.
You Guard Me.
So I love these. I have like a ton of them, and I love them because if you don't want to put a case on your iPad or on your phone, they're wonderful because they're anti-slip. And you can even get, like, if you want to stick your phone onto something else, you can get another piece like this that can stick to a wall or a table, and your phone will stay in place. And that's what I love the most about it, is that I hate the fact of if I'm using my iPad. And for my iPads, I don't now, because my children use them sometimes as well. I usually have cases on them. But besides that, most of my iPads are naked just because I like the feel better. But I don't like that when I'm typing, they slip around on the table. And with these, even if I and don't judge me because this is not the brightest of things, I usually take my phone and I put it on the side of like the bathtub because I should be bathing. Like you use your watch in the shower, I shouldn't be in the bath and using my phone at the same time, but I do. And this will stop my phone from slipping around when I'm typing or taking a look at it. It'll stay exactly what you said it. So it's fabulous. They stick on, they don't leave a sticky residue. It's easy for them to come off as well. And they're just fabulous. You can get them in any color, all kinds of different shapes. And they have a nice feel to them. Like it's not going to carry a whole bunch of lint from your pocket, but still it has great grip. And so I really enjoy those.
Are they single use or do you use them again and again?
I just keep them on. So I had one on my phone. And you just leave it on your phone, and that's amazing.
Oh, so it's not like sticking. It's not really sticky.
It's not really sticky. It has a little bit of like a grip onto it. It's like a little silicone-ish firm, and it just stays in place. So it's not protective, but it is great for people that get annoyed if their phone or iPad is sliding around on, say, I hate the feeling of iPad on a glass table, but it'll just stay in place. Then you don't have to hear that horrible noise of your iPad grating upon the glass.
And so you...
can I show...
Yo, go ahead.
Wait, I'll wait for the other one. I was going to say something else, but I'll save that for next time's show.
Okay.
Getting overly excited, Megan.
So it sticks to the back of, you use it on your phone, so you always have it on the back of your phone. And do you have a case on your phone or you just use that?
Now with my iPhone 6, I actually have a case on the back of my phone instead, but I use it on my iPads because those I carry around in lots of different places and it will just stay. But I used to have it on my phone. When I used to have my 5, I had it on the back of that phone, and then I could just place it anywhere. And you didn't have to worry about it being knocked over. My worry was that it was going to fall into the bathtub when I moved. No, it just would stay there and not like overly gripped. Sometimes you do have to peel it kind of off because it's there, but that was wonderful for me.
I'm wondering if that would be a good solution to me because I don't have a case that I love for the iPhone 6 and I just love the way it looks without a case, but then I am afraid of it slipping off of places or just slipping out of my hand. Is it make it grip in your hand better?
It does because the backing, it has more grip, so it will not slip out of your hand, which is wonderful. And that's the reason that I have the Apple leather case on my phone is because I find that they're exceptionally slippery.
Well, that's a nice case. Was that what you were going to tell me about and that you're saving?
Well, yeah, it's on the back of the case, but I won't show that part. Okay. So this one, there, look at that. This one is the Apple case. It's the leather one, and I love it. It has a nice feel to it. It's not overly bulky. Like, it does make my phone look, I know my phone looks huge. Huge phone. But it's wonderful. It's the leather case, and I love this case. I have not taken it off since I got my phone. I bought it with it.
Well, I am amazed that you had all of those picks. They just kept coming at me, like more and more. It's like, let's do them all. Those are amazing. And you can get all those links at our show at twit.tv/iOS. The links and descriptions of those products will be there. And you can email us at iOS today twit.tv. And if you have something that you want to send to Georgia, a question for her, you can email it to us at iostoday@twit.tv, and I will forward it on to her. Or do you like for people to contact you through Twitter, or how do you like for people to?
Sure, they can email me, georgia@imore.com, or they can send me a message on Twitter. Either one's fine.
And we're not getting rid of you yet. We have more. I've just got to talk about some of our sponsors first. And afterwards, we're going to do a few more tips. And Georgia will have her app cap. And we're going to answer some questions. And when I say we, I say mostly Georgia is going to answer some questions. But I will be here too. Today's show is sponsored by Harry's. Harry's is a great subscription service for razors. And I have gotten a case of Harry's, and I love it. I also got one for my husband. He loves it. I love the way it feels in my hand. It is great because the other way to get razors is not always as fun as getting them in this nice case in the mail when they're shiny and new. Sometimes they're locked behind those cases at the grocery store and you have to get someone and you feel a little bit like a criminal. And razors are expensive. They run about $4 a blade. If you shave every day, you're going to spend hundreds of dollars a year just on razors. And Harry's is fixing this for us. They make their razors in their own factory in Germany. They engineer them for sharpness and high performance, and they ship them for free to your front doorstep. In each kit, you get a razor with a handle, looks and feels great, and 3 razor blades and foaming shave gel. The starter Truman set is an amazing deal. You get all of this for just $15. Harry gives clean, close, and comfortable shave, which if you're a man, you like it. If you love a man, you like to feel that smooth face like I do. The price is great. Harry's costs about half as much as the razors at the store. You can go to harrys.com, get $5 off your first purchase with the offer code. That's harrys.com, and enter the offer code at the checkout. The offer code is iOS Today, and we thank Harry's for their support of iOS Today. And now we're back with a tip that Jim W. called in for a great way to look at comics on your iPad or your iPhone or just the web. I think, do we have that pulled up, Zach?
Hello, Megan and Leo. I can't recall whether or not you've talked about this app on iPad Today in the past, so I'm sending this recommendation for Go Comics. I'm a fan of the funny pages, but as print newspapers cut their budgets and in some cases disappear completely, my favorite comic strips are becoming more difficult to find. Enter Go Comics. You don't have to pay to read the comic strips, but if you don't want to see ads, you have to become a pro member by either subscribing monthly at 99 cents or yearly at $11.99. I'm not really sure what's up with that billing scheme because it turns out that subscribing by the month is cheaper. But by becoming a pro, you get a daily email notification of your favorite comic strips. The comic strips are archived, but I don't know how far back you can go. I tried the Dick Tracy strip and got as far back as May of 2001. Go Comics also offers you the option of being a registered member, but it's not necessary to be one. Registering is free, and by doing that, you get to take advantage of a comment feature that allows you to add comments to any of the comic strips you read. At any rate, Go Comics is a portal for a huge number of popular strips, up-and-coming strips, political cartoons, Spanish versions of some popular strips, and a boatload of new talent in the Sherpa section. This is an area where anyone with a desire to submit their own comic strip work or political cartoons can upload and receive feedback. So far, I like the app. It's definitely worth the 99 cents a month. The app is also tied to the Go Comics website, so you can view the same comic strips on any computer. Thanks for your time, and take care, Megan and Leo. This has been Jim from Chula Vista.
Do you like comics, Georgia?
I do like comics. I do. I don't really read them anymore. I usually now just see them when my kids have comics, so I haven't used them in a while. Renee's a huge comic fan, though, so he'll send me all of the best comics that he's already read through, so I get curated comics, which is fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, we should say, like, these are the actual, like, Garfield, Dilbert comics, not the, you know, Batman.
Graphic
Superman.
novel.
Yeah, graphic
kind
novel
of comics,
type.
yeah.
Yes, and that's the kind, Renee's a big fan of the comics.
No, he likes actually the graphic novel comics, but my kids like the comics. So Garfield is one of their favorites. So I did as a child like read a lot of comics, and now I just don't really have time. But they have a really funny one. They'll be like, okay.
Yeah, I think Garfield taught my boys how to read. Like that's I mean that's what got them over the edge of, you know, it's just they like graphic novels too, but I mean Garfield is hilarious, always has been.
Yeah,
always.
I love Garfield.
Well, thanks for the tip, Jim, and he had a lovely voice. Like I feel like he should be doing my part in this
It was
podcast.
Very melodic. I was like, wow, why can't I sound like that?
So we have another tip from Lewis from North Merrick, New York, and I did not know this. It's an Apple Watch tip, and when I asked you, you didn't know it either. And Leo's talked about this, and I use this all the time. It's one of my favorite things about the watch is to alert if I've lost my phone, which I do a lot. I don't know if we can see my watch. And there we go. So this is just one of my glances, and of course, you know, you can turn off. I always have the sound off on my watch, even when I'm not doing show in the airplane mode, and that's the, you know, no notifications. But this button here, it rings your phone, pings your iPhone, so you can find it across the room. And if you hold it down, the flash will also go off. Let's see if we can see.
I've got this thing going on.
Okay, the flash, let's see. If it worked before, maybe it's like, we know your phone's right there, don't.
You've just touched it.
Oh, there, can you see the flash? Yeah, you can see the flash that's going off there. So that's cool. If you are in a dark room and you want to find your phone and you don't want to turn the lights off, and then you can just hold down that button. And there's all kinds of things like this. Georgia, are you finding things? But once a week I find something that I didn't know before.
Something new that I can do. I love this one. This one's just amazing because I lose my phone like everywhere all the time. So I think that this is just a great application. I love the fact that it flashes to help find it faster.
Right.
It would be good actually if you could just flash so that it wouldn't wake anyone up if I've lost it in the middle of the night.
That's what I was just thinking. I wonder if there is a way to do that. Yeah, because it's like in the baby's room or something, or in the middle of the night. And anyone who's sleeping, you don't want to wake them up. And this is great because even if your phone sound is turned off, which my phone, my sound on my phone is almost always turned off, and I hardly ever have it on. And so you can't call if you've lost your phone. You know, oh, I'll just call it. That never works.
Yeah.
But this, even if your sound is off, it still does it.
It's still gonna ping your phone, which is wonderful, unless you have a sleeping baby.
Yes. Well, I bet
then the flash would be perfect.
Yeah, if there isn't already a way to do it, I bet they're thinking of a way. I mean, I'm sure we're not the only people that have
It's also good for accessibility for people that may be deaf or hard of hearing. Then they can find their phone without having to worry about, not hearing the sound.
Right. Good point. Okay, so now we have a few questions that you agreed to answer. Now, last week I sort of answered this question. I thought it was someone was looking for an Apple Watch case, like I said before, something to carry around. So Leo and I had some suggestions, but you have a few more. Robert writes, my amazing kids and my awesome fiance got me an Apple Watch for Father's Day. I'm a machine operator at an auto plant. I wear an iPod Nano with a watch band. Over the years, it's gotten nicked up pretty bad. This was the only reason I was not going to get an Apple Watch. I think I'm the perfect use case for the watch. I listen to music on my iPhone 6, plus most of my workday, and I watch podcasts during my lunch break on my iPad, all through Bluetooth headphones. Taking my phone out to check song titles, skip, rewind, and read text messages is not always ideal. While looking on Amazon, I found Apple Watch covers. I was wondering, since you really like your Apple Watch, had you seen them, and what do you think?
Right, so the one that I'm going to get, which is sad because it does not have fabulous reviews, there are some negativities to it, is the Spigen case. I'm doing it actually for kind of like a cheat because I have the silver watch face, and I have a little bit of buyer's regret. I wish I had gotten the matte black. So I'm actually getting the Spigen Slim watch case black matte finish just so that my phone will look black, which I guess I'm cheating. That's probably not the right way to use it. There are two negativities with getting this case. Is for some people, because it also has a cover on it, they find that it gets a little bit of mildew, a little bit of water vapor inside of between the screen and the screen protector. And the second thing is, yes, when you have this, it's a little bit more difficult to get the digital crown. So they have two. They also have one that's more rugged. But the Armor Suit Military Shield is like the carbon fiber kind of protector. But I don't like the look to it. But if you're looking to protect your case, it does have fabulous reviews. But it's not as handsome to me. So I think that I'm still going to get the Spigen just because of the looks. But definitely get Apple Care. If you got a watch, it is worth the money to get Apple Care, just because watches have a greater chance to be able to be knocked around because they're on your wrist all the time.
So you're saying like additional to, doesn't it come with some part of Apple Care for a little while? Or did
I would get Apple Care Plus on your watch. You want everything to be able to be, it's just, there's an increased chance that you're going to do something that you shouldn't do to your watch or smash it against something, and, you should always have that.
Well, it's confusing because, I don't know if you saw all the videos, like all the sites that right after the Apple Watch came, they like put it in a blender and threw it on the floor and stamped on it with their boots.
Right.
So it's supposed to be pretty hardy, right? But then I've also seen pictures online with a shattered case and, the nicks and stuff. So is it hardy or not?
You know what? I'm clumsy, and I've been wearing my watch all the time, and I can't even see a scratch. I have the sports model, so it doesn't even have the sapphire screen, but it works really, really well in protecting the watch so far. But for me, it's just peace of mind. I would buy another one, which would be very expensive if there was a problem with it. And so I think that you should always have that, if you can afford to, just to have the peace of mind if something happens.
Right, and don't stick it in a blender or stamp on it with your
No,
boots.
you probably shouldn't. If you're working construction, then yes, you should probably get an extra case on top of your watch as well.
Right, but if you're just laying in bed looking at your iPad all day.
It's pretty good. I've smashed it against a few walls and dropped it on the floor twice now, and nothing's happened to it as of yet.
But the sport model is not as strong as the Apple Watch edition, right? Or the sapphire.
Yes, exactly, because it doesn't have the sapphire glass. But I haven't noticed any difference to that.
Yeah.
As of yet, I don't even have a scratch on it yet.
Yeah, I don't have one mine either. And I pointed this out last week, but I read an article that Serenity wrote on iMore about when she wanted to use it for roller derby.
Right.
And she used like a sweatband over it because this was the first. Yeah, it was the first thing that could really track her activity. She didn't worry about it. But I don't know if if she uses a case or if the sweatband still works.
She doesn't yet, and she wears it all the time, and when she's doing derby, and it's been fine. I can't use it for martial arts. It would hurt someone else. So unfortunately, I can't use my activity tracker when I'm training, which is a little bit sad. But if you're doing any stand-up training, then you still could, which would be wonderful.
Right. I use it for Bikram yoga, which is a lot of sweating, but that seems to be fine. I haven't had any problems. But it's nice to know, like, I like to look at when my heart rate goes up highest.
Yes.
And
Yes.
just to see how many calories that it thinks I'm burning. And I thought it would be distracting, but I just turn everything off and I can't hear anything. And, in some poses you look over and it, shines and, I see what my heart rate is, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it rewards you. It says, you've done great work, look at this. And that's a wonderful thing to keep you motivated to work out more.
Yeah, I think that is one of the best things about it, personally, and for me and for the people that I know that have it, just to remind you how many, stand up. You've done great for standing up this many hours, that kind of thing. I did go to the county fair yesterday with my children, and I was on the swings, that spin you around.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, first of all, because my heart rate was up because I was really nervous.
Right.
And I just didn't know if the accelerometer, thought I was, flying through the air or something.
Really fast.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I burned a lot of calories, and I couldn't tell if it was, on the rides or just walking around and being nervous.
Right, chasing your kids. No, don't go over here, come over there. And then they're putting you on, when you're more excited, you are burning more calories as well. So even if you're not physically doing an activity, your body is burning more calories because you just have more adrenaline in your system. So
right.
Could be accurate.
Let's see. Oh, we have another question from Thomas. He asks, is there a free Photoshop app or one that won't break the bank? Something simple.
Well, for this one, I called a friend
Called a lifeline.
I cheated. I did. I used a lifeline. And so I asked Renee because he uses a lot of different Photoshop applications and he just does a lot of graphic work. And so one of them is Pixelmator, and both of these you can use on your iPad or on your Mac, and they won't break the bank. So they're around $40 for you to purchase, which is nothing. Pixelmator is very similar to Photoshop. And so that's wonderful in being able to, have something that will have very similar editing processes.
I downloaded Pixelmator a few months ago, and I don't have any projects yet to use it for, but I was really excited about it. I think it won a design award, and I thought, oh, well, this will be great.
Yeah.
But I think you can't, if you're completely not artistic, then it's not going to work and just create great art for you.
That's the unfortunate part. Right. Right. But if you are good and you're good at editing or creating art, then you can use this. And the other one is Acorn. So that also is wonderful. It uses one window, and it also has very similar tools.
It's a wide question because people use Photoshop for all kinds of things. Like, are you, trying to create art? Are you wanting to put like text over your Instagram messages? What? I guess it, but hopefully this will work for you, Thomas. Thank you. Okay, so we have one segment left. That's our app cap. Georgia has a secret hat that I have not seen yet, and I'm very excited to see. And a recommendation. But first, this episode of iOS Today is also brought to you by Blue Apron. And Blue Apron is one of my favorite sponsors. We don't ask you to pay for any of our podcasts, but we do ask if you're at all interested in our sponsors to try them out. And some of our sponsors, you might not want what they have to offer, but you got to eat. And Blue Apron provides meals right to your door, healthy, delicious, all the ingredients, all the instructions for a very low price. This is a great service. I love my Blue Apron box. It's really exciting when I get it. It's like a present.
That sounds so exciting. Yeah, you have everything there. I love that.
It is great. You haven't tried it, I assume.
No.
Yes, it is amazing because you're a busy person.
Yes.
There's many steps to getting a healthy meal on your family's table. You have to plan, and you have to go to the grocery store, and then you have to cook it. And I've
always forgotten an ingredient.
Yes,
always.
Or
I'm like, oh.
Or when you have like the meal calls for some kind of truffle oil, lemon infused, and it's great, and it costs you $13 to buy this giant bottle, and you'll never use it again.
Right, or you can't find where to purchase it.
Right.
I love that. That saves me time. Good to go.
It is great because that's the holy grail of parenting, getting the healthy meal, or anyone, even just by yourself, with couples. It's a great gift too. I recently had a thank you gift. It was a family invited us to stay up in Tahoe, and I just gave them just a couple of meals through Blue Apron because I know she loves to cook and also is busy and doesn't have a lot of time. So it's 500 to 700 calories per serving. They taste really delicious. Shipping is free. The menus are always new. They're seasonal ingredients for incredible meals like grilled cheeseburgers with feta watermelon salad and fried green tomato burgers with miso dressed sweet potato salad.
I'm getting hungry, Maggie. You have to stop. That's great.
Have you seen I love the feta watermelon salad. That was something that I just discovered like at a potluck a couple years ago, and I just thought, oh, why would you put cheese and watermelon together? But it's delicious.
I just had one at a Japanese restaurant, and it was fabulous.
Yeah, it is. So there's all meals like this. They never send the same one twice, so it's creative and interesting and healthy. And you can get your first 2 meals free by going to blueapron.com/twit. That's 2 free meals. We thank Blue Apron for their support of iOS Today. So are you ready for the app cap? Do you have
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready. Do you have your? Oh my God, yours is you are so cute.
I have to thank Jason Cleanthes. I think he picked out this hat. He's chief hat picker and producer.
Okay, wait. I have mine. Okay, wait a second.
Are you making it on the internet? Whoa. Oh, excellent.
Wait.
That is good. You promised geekiness, and I was wondering, is it gonna, like, you know, spit out code or something? But I see geek culture. That's where you're going.
There we go.
I love it. I love it.
Wait, let me.
What kind of adventures have you gone on in that hat?
Yeah.
Does it belong to you, or did you have to borrow it from someone?
It's actually my husband's hat. He did schooling for geology, and so we went to Universal Studios and got him a proper Indiana Jones hat.
So your husband isn't actually Harrison Ford?
No.
That would be a great reveal if it was your secret life.
Right.
All right, well, why don't you start with your app cap, your favorite app right now?
So one of the most annoying things with being sent emails is trying to figure out what to answer and taking the time to find an answer. Or people that you send messages to, you've probably had this, and they never reply back. And then suddenly it's been forgotten because they didn't have time to do it. So this application is called Dart, and it's a lot of fun to use. What you get to do is you send an email to someone, and then you can give them the options of selections, which then they can choose from, and they can send it back in a moment. And
I like this.
It's so much fun. I've been sending these to people with just strange, what is your favorite movie? What restaurant would you like to go to today? Pick a time when we can meet up. And I have to say, I've gotten really quick, fast replies, and I love getting them. Megan, you sent me one.
I did.
And it was exciting. It was like a survey question. I loved it.
Right. Well, I'm sending you one right now. Yeah, maybe we can show this on my screen. Who would win in a fight, Georgia Dow or Renee Ritchie?
Pick wisely.
And so, yeah, there we go. And so, yeah, I just send it. I don't, and then you would get these choices, right? They would come up.
Yes.
Can you see that?
And they look beautiful. Let me. Whenever I get it.
I don't know why it's an error occurred.
Oh.
Is there a secret to the app that I? So it kind of turns. So I've shown this before. So then the maybe we have a video that shows it better on the website. But yeah, these are two choices, and you just get to pick one.
Yes.
And, you know, this made me think of the smart replies on the Apple Watch. Have you used those very much?
I've tried to, and I use them sometimes, but it seems like it never really is the reply that I need at the moment that I need it. So I use like the yes, no, I'll be there in a moment replies, but, you know.
Well, what I found was I was getting ready to go to the beach with my sister, and we were texting back and forth, and I was getting all the texts on my watch, and she asked me, should I wear flip-flops or sneakers? And when I went to reply, the first reply was flip-flops, and the second reply was sneakers. Have you ever seen that? So I just thought that was amazing. And what you're saying is true. It's like it happened just out of the blue, but then when I tried it with all these different things, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. When we were showing this, Zach, who is our technical director today, he tried it with emojis, like do you like cats or dogs? It doesn't work with emojis. It should. Maybe Apple Watch 2 will let us use emojis. But it does have, this, I don't know if you knew this, but this was very cool. If you have someone's birthday in your contact and they text you on their birthday, the first suggested reply is happy birthday.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and it really
I like
works.
that, and actually that happened for my husband, which I loved. I was like, wow. I did know that it was his birthday, but it's a great reminder. If that comes up, tip to everyone, hit that first.
Right, yeah.
Or at least search to see if it actually is their birthday.
Yeah.
See, I sent you one. I sent you a dart, so see if you received it.
Let me see if I can, get that up. But yeah, the smart replies, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Let me just see that I don't show any of our other personal conversations that we had. Okay, I got it now. See, who will win in a fight, Renee or Georgia? Renee or Georgia?
Oh, wait, careful. That's it. That's the right answer.
It just shows up and then you can send it. And it works on the watch too, right?
Yes.
That was one of the apps they showed off, I think, on the Apple Watch event in April. It was, I think I remember that was, that it's going to change email. And And
Yay, I got the reply, Georgia. That's good.
So I'm
going to save that to show Renee later.
Right. I'll show up next week too. We'll do this all over again.
Right. And then you're going to change your reply. I'm going to be watching the show, so I'll know if you've changed your answer.
Okay. And we should say part of what martial arts teaches you is, you just don't have random fights, right? It's only, you're prepared, but I'm sure there's, yeah. All right.
And it teaches you to be humble. Yes. You lose so many fights that it doesn't really matter anymore.
Dart is free, I think. I think it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my app cap, we're gonna have to change this around a little bit, is great because there's nothing like children like better in the summer than learning about geography. But I like to, my kids play a lot of Minecraft, but I also like to teach them, I like them to use the iPad for educational stuff too. And this was actually recommended by their 4th grade teacher, and I love it. It's good for road trips, too. I picked this one because it's not like we're just shoving math flashcards into their face. And this is free. You can also pay $1.99. And it just teaches you about geography. So we will see how much the two of us know about U.S. geography, hoping I know more than you do.
I actually didn't even put my own name so that no one, there would be no
Okay, which
track record.
Which state is Colorado? Can you see?
Oh, don't.
I think it's not that one. I think it's this one, yes. I'm horrible at U.S. geography.
I don't even know. It was my worst subject in school in the first place, but for American geography, it's, I'm Canadian. I have zero geographical knowledge. I get lost in a circle. One entrance, one exit, I would be lost. So, I have no geography works for me, so I need this application.
Well, it's good too, and then if you get it right, you get to drop it, and then it's about balance and physics too. So you get to stack the states. So you
nice.
Cornhusker State. I think it's Nebraska. It's Nebraska, Georgia.
I'm starting to stress.
So then you can place it here, or you can turn it around if you want to balance it this way. Or this way, and then you just drop it, and you're supposed to be able to stack. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh.
So it's a free app. I think I paid $1.99 just because to support it. It's not like you get any other features, and it doesn't have ads in it or anything. So I don't know if there's a equal Canadian app, but there probably is.
Stack the province. I don't know.
What's the thing that you have to learn? Good. What's the equivalent of learning? I mean, do you have to learn all the capitals? What's the thing? What's the big geography in Canada?
We do, but there's not that much of Canada, so it's much easier for the states. I think that this is really important because there's just so many of them. It's difficult to learn, so making learning fun, there's a greater chance that you'll do it. And also, if you're learning something and you're enjoying it, there's a greater retention rate. So it works for both of things.
Right, and as I've evidenced, it's never too late to learn geography. So it's not just for kids. If you want to learn for yourself, if you're going to go on Trivial Pursuit or something like that, it's stack the states. Georgia, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for having the fancy hat, the fancy geeky hat, and for answering the questions, and just for being generally a wonderful person to have on the Twit Network. We are really grateful for having you, and if you want more of Georgia, you can also download and watch Twit from yesterday, or come back in 2 weeks. Where maybe you and Renee will have fought in the interim.
Right.
And we'll know
we will
the
have
real answer.
by then.
All the apps for today's show can be found at twit.tv/iOS. You can email us at iOStoday@twit.tv, and you can watch live. We do the show at 12:30 Pacific time every Monday, and you can subscribe to the audio or the video version of the show, and subscribe to iMore podcast, the iMore podcast, which is excellent. That is you can find that at, I guess, imore.com.
Yeah.
And your writings at imore.com, and then you also, what are the other podcasts that you do now?
I do a couple. I do one on Dungeons and Dragons called Total Party Kill, which is hilarious, and Isometric Podcast, which is on gaming.
And then are you and Renee going to bring back your Zen and Tech podcast?
We are probably going to do a series of Zen and Tech. So we do that for like parenting and different issues that might be coming up. And I'm soon going to be doing an anxiety video series. So it's if you want to deal with your anxiety, but at home, that'll be on anxiety-videos.com when we have them up. And so we'll have a little video series of how to treat your anxiety from the comfort of your own home.
Oh, that sounds really great. As long as you keep enough that I'm still burning calories with it.
Right.
Right now. That's what I want, just that much. Well, thank you, Georgia. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and hope we'll see you again. We'll see you, Georgia, in 2 weeks, and you will see us, as promised, in 1 week with Renee Ritchie.
Yes.
Take care, and thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.